Actually, well, yes, we'll just do this. You can go ahead.
Contention 1 is fusion of funded fundings. Key to fusion commercialization is feasible and delivers huge energy burn at 12. In terms of physics, there is no barrier to fusion given massive benefits from commercialization. We should spend billions annually. That fusion is 30 years away and always will be. Strikes me as cynical when the problem is driven by the fact that funding has been anemic. We should increase federal spending for fusion across the board, which are under zero sum games to it, and scientific capability exists. Money is the outstanding variable. Prager 9 by any measure. Rocket's fusion has been enormous. Towers increased by 10 million every scientific measure experience in setting to be back to Rohrabacher. Note that funding, despite funding, we have not achieved ignition, but historical notes important BPX. Was not funded, fire was not funded ahead. The proposal has been realized. We would be setting burning plus with scientific knowledge has existed for some time, and isotopes are abundant, and there's no downside. Car 12. Fusion only uses hydrogen 1. The most abundant element, hydrogen, can be taken in the air as well as seawater. Fusion produces harmless products, helium, neutrons, and energy, while fusion can cause meltdown. Fusion is easily monitored and controlled. Air surface is 70% water, 95% of that seawater is the most abundant of any resource. Even if only small amounts of energy could be yielded, we could run a reaction as a large-scale additive. Payout would be immense there. If no supply of isotopes, negative effects would not exist in fusion. Does not yield harmful products that are safe and easy and hardening energy production. Spending beyond ITER spurs quick development. Prager 11. There's been a surge of interest in investment in fusion abroad. Fusion connects us with these strong research very directly into energy, non-open science, strategic, commercial fusion. We need advancement in R&D beyond ITER. We need research and materials around plateau. We want to quickly and economically that needs R&D beyond ITER to visit this. Does need a public sector investment to get fusion quickly, and the Fed's key Miller 7. DOE must do fusion, although programs that receive support from state agencies, there are important differences to a larger extent. Nuclear research cannot be addressed without financial support. The DOE needs sharp processes that underpins analysis is not available outside case. Outside research provides information to the sponsoring agency. Thus, the DOE funding is important also because results can be immediately useful. NSC research is using the exclusive jurisdiction the DOE set forth in the AEA. Fluctuates in DOE have a tangible disproportionate impact on research. Reactors can attain state funding without experience indicated. An important role can be DOE monitoring reactors and establishing peer-reviewed grant programs to ensure supply and to make arrangements for required periodic surveys conducted by the DOE, and that's key to global energy leadership. Read 9. A substantial stimulation of federal R&D has been a key driver to success. Scale and complexity demands a coordinated national effort to jumpstart a clean energy revolution. U.S. must increase direct support for R&D. State increases necessary to create new breakthrough technology for governments able to provide sustained funding efforts. Believe it's necessary because size energy will in the few areas capable of serving as a major economic, major new engine of growth. Growth will be striking globally. Countries develop technical defense significant advantages. Unfortunate lack of national commitments limiting access to major economic driver in fusion. R&D is the key test case. Prager 11. Should the U.S. maintain funding in fusion, the reason is competitiveness in fusion in general is in science and tech. If we are going to prosper economically, we absolutely have to be competitive in energy. R&D, whoever controls energy is economically dominant. Fusion is the perfect case study. We can retain competitiveness, give up if the latter will be importing reactors, and energy leadership secures U.S. primacy and leverages great power rivals. Clear box 9. U.S. is squandering opportunity to secure global privacy for generations, developing key tech that sees the plan for war the U.S. to outmaneuver this great power rivals. Federal government must directly increase investment in our energy R&D innovations will give the U.S. an edge in global competition where German nations will adopt such technology, providing leverage can keep potential foes in check and extinction. Present to key 12. If America falters tension among global competitors and chaos would be likely sudden crisis would lead to global disorder. No power would be already probable would be realignments and if risk of well-being. Russia will have Italian states. Europe will be pulled in certain national could arise. International tension in Asia could ensue. Weaker states would be made vulnerable, including Georgia, Taiwan, Korea, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Israel, and the immediate consequence could be corrosion of sea, land, space, cyberspace. The environmental imperative to the global economy and stability and decline would generate global instability and independent of hedge. U.S. leverage held multiple existential threats. Jervis 9. American power depends on others. U.S. cannot on a lone basis and overfill rates are needed given international threat cooperation. Only right to sex economic system could easily disintegrate the unipolarity and age poverty crime of the unipole. Cannot treat the American goals depend on persuading others, and global fusion is inevitable. Without the U.S. it will be too slow. Prager 11. In fusion contributions are needed. The U.S. workforce is second to none. We have a deep and broad workforce, physicists, engineers, others not doing everything. We have ideas in the U.S. that are needed. In the World Fusion Program, the U.S. experience or will the rest of the world get there? I think so, but until they get there, as rapidly as if the U.S. had contributed, time is important. An energy crash causing extinction within a generation. Quick U.S. fusion development is the only solution. Freeman 10. World is facing energy crisis, vast proportion of the ultimate alternative to finite resources fusion. This can use on the limited isotopes from seawater. One might think the U.S. will not push fusion on nations will in. The reality of the situation is far worse. The present rate of world-class ability to sustain populations nearly lost a crash program. Must earn enough fusion within generation definitely a requirement. Without it, civilization goes into a dark age, and only fusion can provide the massive energy boost necessary for survival. Lead 10. With well-founded energy, other resources, including food, may be manufactured, no shortage in inadequacy renewables, except in light of the scale of conservation is not of humankind. These not incremental improvements. One giant step from limited energy into world energy is unlimited. Here, survival civilization against fusion must be achieved within the next half century. Major funding immediately changes global perception of research charges and averts conflicts. CN 12. Major funding would bring today to which the fusion would be available. What consequence would even this knowledge of its certain existence in the world would change our perception of energy from limited to unlimited resource fusion. These enormous advantages, no fuel shortage, no concentration to generate geopolitical stress, and resource wars are likely and cause extinction to Woolridge 9. More than the recipe for a classic global civilization. Consequences of research wars likely include increased unrest, proliferation, WMD, widening inequality, and not a likely nuclear war ending civilization in the plan text. The United States federal government should substantially increase financial support for fusion energy production in the United States. Contention to its fusion leadership. Fusion spending is a limit for U.S. energy leadership. Prager 11 debate about energy supply, abundance and clean energy is fusion making it a reality. It takes significant investment from the government. The U.S. has yet to commit to full rounds to develop a domestic reactor. We need serious public investment in fusion potential to help all emerging challenges: energy independence, competitiveness, environmental responsibility, and the reduction of conflict over research limits, federal willingness to tackle tough challenges, and plans such a huge single commitment to fusion. Camming 7. The single commitment of large government initiatives has outweighed any cardiac effects, circumstances, and near death, earth. Activity in the nuclear sector is likely to decrease enrollment grad programs of large term to single commitment from public years to increase numbers of professionals in government. Funding is essential to supporting tech and sending signals in the market, and funding is the focal point. Star Wars 3. Its axiomatic to federal science policies, played out budget policy discourse, relates to S&T focuses essentially on funding numbers organizations carefully mind the budget process. Issue 7 budget theory changes are to treat as surrogates for well-being in the enterprise and give totemic importance to federal R&D budget and centrality of the budget and S&T policy. What can we learn in only federal energy R&D spending solves bet in Core 12. Strategic energy policy would bring immediate benefits to leadership of U.S. federal spending, which settle framework as well as demonstrating public funding commitments. This clarity and stability to be represented for investing in federal government is a critical role. Only the federal government is in a position to provide long-term clarity, direction, leadership on the national level. That requires prioritization of investment in research to clearly beyond the capacity of 15 individual states. Only thus can we create new defense. Obama shield leadership and stable, predictable funding streams are key. Tell May 12. Progress of future research depends on the continuity of research are driven away by funding instability and direction. The budget threatens its global leadership is long-term interest to maintain predictable funding. Fusion can only move forward with adequate support and strong domestic fusion is critical to international lead role in next gen energy. Carry 12. U.S. has been a international leader in fusion. However, new program balance must determine the domestic and international research investing budget. Fails to support test by including a reduction of domestic research. Domestic funding cannot withstand a proposed reduction to pay for each. The U.S. is sacrificing research to apply the results. This could apply limited the ability for U.S. to take a lead role in next gen energy, and otherwise, multiple countries will pass U.S. undermining fusion leadership. Volt 12. COVID would have a devastating impact on U.S. fusion and consequences jeopardize U.S. leadership investments. The right of the domestic program is key to scientific base, establishing foundation for next steps in providing an advantage for each. Without substantial support, we will see advantages to China, South Korea, Japan, the EU, all which are pursuing more aggressive programs with level funding. U.S. can maintain its position as a world leader in fusion, and that route is a unique model for deep international collaboration. Holder 95. For a variety of reasons, fusion has involved a higher degree of scientific cooperation than other field of research, entailing not only exchanges but full-fledged collaboration, design, construction, operational experience is itself a valuable model and precedent for other fields, and the impact of failed states, disease, and terrorism. Better off 8. Leadership in science is part of our strategic diplomatic arsenal. Basis for partnerships. Science is able to bridge deep divide to keep open lines of communication, cultural understanding. Some types are inherently international. Collaborative fusion serves as a symbol for international scientific collaboration elimination. Jeopardizes the platform for reaffirming U.S. relations. Key states of stability requires a concerted effort to address factors that cause states to fail the world. Basic common threats: climate change, water shortages, health emergency, environmental degradation, poverty, food insecurity. Industry these can become global threats, suggesting necessitates scientific cooperation among allies. We use recognition, goodwill, science generates to achieve diplomatic goals. New global efforts focusing on biological and nuclear security and failed states. Nuclear war. TI 7. Failed states lead to international migration, which increases stabilization, collapse, disease, spread WMD, terrorists who are aggressive control, not only Korea, Africa, are the arteries, which results in actually U.S. Europe could face direct attack and disease cause extinction. Kading 9. Because of globalization, disease spreading even faster global outbreak could have a civilization-ending impact and the plans key to Obama's energy leadership solves global conflict, including the Caucasus. Lugar 8. Energy exacerbates every major foreign policy issues, Sudan, Iran, terrorism, poverty, Iraq, vigorous energy diplomacy only committed present countries required across the globe countries, from Indonesia to Chile to Egypt to Chile are considering nuclear power making practices related to Caucasus and other cases point demonstrate American interests would reduce Russia stranglehold market card there, and a global nuclear war. Day 3. Involvement of the U.S., EU, Russia, China, Iran, and Turkey underscore significance and potential competition tensions could be aggravated if conflicts for Eurasia. Eurasia includes the largest force in Europe nation that also has 4 nuclear countries, Russia, China, Pakistan, India, making a dangerous flashpoint global significance.
What piece of evidence speaks to how long it will take to make your plan commercially viable?
I don't know if you have a card that's very specific to commercially viable. R&D is critical to having making progress. We'll have a better idea when a few years if we have a committed funding stream.
By
Our guess is probably 10 to
plan
15
text, you mean R&D.
Plantex says finance.
Yeah,
Does a plan do R&D?
it would lead to
A
fusion.
bunch of your tags are talking about why R&D is.
It would lead to
does the
fusion
plan do
energy
it?
production, which might include R&D.
It might include R&D, so you might solve your internal links.
If we win that production is R&D, then we would probably solve R&D.
Is your F R&D or not?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a likely result of paper.
It's a likely result.
Financial incentives to produce that, R&D is probably a necessary step, so yes.
Okay, so what is the financial incentive that your F gives?
Support.
What does that mean?
It means
Like, what does the
money.
F do?
You give them money.
Money.
That
Who gives you
like
money?
R&D.
The USFG gives researchers who apply for money.
Okay.
We give to three majors. We give to
Why
national
would
advertising.
our allies not cooperate with us without like U.S. involvement in FEMA?
The Jervis card talks about it having leverage over potential allies. It means that we should, otherwise they won't necessarily have to cooperate with us unless we have that leverage.
Why wouldn't they
Well,
cooperate with us? They're our allies. Like they already like.
Because
serve our
it's
side.
not always convenient for them to do that, but if we have leverage over them, it means that they definitely
What
will.
kind of leverage does the plan provide?
Post-plan, the US would be the leader in basically all energy. It gives us a lot of leverage.
Why does that give us leverage?
Because
Because
we're the ones
the U.S.
who
is doing energy stuff.
we supply them energy. But countries now that supply other countries with energy have clear
Right.
leverage. It's shown by a lot of countries in the
I'm
Middle
gonna
East.
read the entirety of your Woolridge impact card, and you stop me when you think I've read it more. More of the same is a recipe for collapse of global civilization. Consequences of resource wars likely include increased unrest, proliferation of WMD, widening inequity, and not likely nuclear war ending civilization.
Yeah, what's your question?
I asked you to stop when I read a warrant, and you didn't stop me. Like, what
I think
is
you read
the warrant
all
that
of it.
evidence?
This is some real MSU pilot in here.
It says consequences
Wait, I
of
know.
resource wars include unrest,
Yeah,
proliferation,
that's a
WMD,
claim.
inequity, nuclear
Claim.
war ending in
Plan.
civilization.
Where's the
Okay. So you read this impact about Obama's energy diplomacy. Why would other countries perceive Obama as pursuing diplomacy on energy when the app is like a reversal from our involvement in ITER? It's like
It's not
the US
a
is going to do it on its own.
It's certainly not a reversal from ITER. It's funding in addition to ITER.
It's funding for.
It's funding
Plan
in it.
funds ITER.
No, it's funding in addition to ITER. ITER is funded no matter what.
Right, but why would countries perceive that when instead of funding ITER, we're funding domestic programs?
Well, first of all, that begs the question. We're not funding ITER. We're funding ITER post-plan, but it also increases domestic fusion investment, which is critical to our cooperation because if we don't fund, we don't do anything for fusion.
It'll be 6 off, leadership, development, self.
Here.
It was advantage 2, advantage 1.
Yeah. Insolvency, yes, a new page for insolvency.
Should be called Wake CD Round 6-1C. Anyone not ready?
Plan doesn't specify incentives the African countries. That's bad. What's unique problem because incentives is vague. There's no consistent literature about what it means. Incentives is the worst form of African because they can change the size and scope of the plan without a member during the debate. Two forces everyone makes burdens. We have to look at the solvency efforts to determine the actual plan, which means the app can wait until after the one seat of sandbag. Solvency efforts, three forces, argument of repression, every major topic innovation for mechanisms, decides picks, two case search requires the neg to be able to research the app and says about specifying we are stuck with the worst forms of Carol and generic still debates, and this has to be a voting issue because the abuse is already announced since the precedent early in the year that is unacceptable. We should not have to wait cross time to pin them down. Effective next show preparation was given the app's massive advantage in the same terms of the debate. Next off is the criticism of Nuke-Tek optimism predicated upon the emphasizing the benefits of nuclear power while obscuring the structural impacts burden to waste while nuclear power is applicant noxious power nuclear power is nuclear technological authorities from inherent and conventional energy between nuclear power losses and generative research and enters through technological power switch to death reactor dust safe search plants are realistic of pretty noble comparisons. There are significant social implications with the power, including the connection between military and civilian uses. Mass amounts of uranium must be extracted. This would jeopardize vulnerable communities since uranium is found in indigenous lands. Waste of Friday form of life would be buried management need to be operated. This fact is extinction, nuclear power, exports violence in the periphery in the form of reactionary nuclear wars and environmental destruction, burning to 6 origins of a problem to interest in the energy system, electricity remains experienced socially privileged and marriage modernization exacerbates social inequality, exacerbate architecture division that are disturbingly between energy and war with every minerals control power, whereas the enablement of the atomic war of extinction manner to make it possible to form the to capture the technological vision of best purpose. The opposite of nuclear power, no promises materialize. It's for safe reactors, the informal and force studies system with first historically existed within the earth from the sea about the electricity march over 2 powers of nuclear weapons and short from the climate's product of promises pursued without examination of political, social, economic, ecological record of the regime's operation. Vote neg, methodological investigations. A prior question, the strict policy focus creates a myth of objectivity that we must disrupt discretion, not 10. The way energy policies is framed relates to assumptions, policies based upon social frame, collective thinking about energy use, the energy dominant conceptual policy makes the objective linear process of policy making bracket interest, and rather than logical rational policy making concern for sustained business issues will exclude voices that must be effective in opening space for energy policy move towards sustainable solutions and facts interpret information about the career sources rejects the policy as neutral discourse now severe the underlying interests beliefs are disguised by policy actors or arguments the ways sources of policies interpretation judgments exhaust is topicality financial assets must be targeted at energy generation over the term financial assets clarifies the purpose of this given incentivized generation limits such as obligation very busting support clarity is a healthy setting to the primary purpose of the scheme and R&D isn't tied to energy production EI 92 the R&D is problematic takes the form of direct payment it is not tied to energy production of energy the R&D will put future prices across so considered an indirect subsidy both neg tons by directional mechanisms impact energy tech in ways that could increase production only direct financial and disbursements increase production create a manageable and predictable topic EI 92 most better policies affect energy markets the interaction between policies and energy market over the study of energy impacts will be incidental to the primary purpose this function of government actions is primary official burdens to affect energy through financial incentives and next off is the election GA Obama's winning but it's closed license 10-3 new poll it shows the likely vote from one by Romney by 7 points it shows the potential shake of the race even recent pollsters single digit for the president there is a way that the movement people in the election was close even a point or two could make a difference in public skepticism means of opposition to any funding for the plan gives in 7 there are several policy changes in the way fusion power plants first inadequate funding but choose the land out of flows political opinion and technology transfers to other political concern and turnouts key to the elections of also 12 could metropolism begins to bomb around the court political and defense or change for dramatic change of opinion trend for local voter structure and the trying to own support campaign was made they're actually trying not to persuade independents for trying to rally their bases and Obama will strike Iran as an October surprise if he thinks he's losing until 12/27 really is attack Iran become an October surprise content going intensive reinforcement have undergone dramatic changes Obama is no pacifist not strike with these interpreters to use your attack Iran no might be vote for the bonds for your election the closer to election the more it would work in Obama's favor Obama's looking for the Barbie October surprise extinction Shadovsky 6 there bombers will let you go wrong they would trigger a ground escalation conflict of fire return the bombs would turn up nuclear miner result from spreading nuclear radiation companies who spread from the military cast maintain military action I guess wrong to directly launch your participation which would broader words about the military centralized with flare and attack with pressure from Mexico protect military capability security boss central Asia Middle East region raise the specter broader conflict eventually destabilization right with financial office and counterplan the United States federal government should provide diminishing financial support for fusion energy production but fusion energy production must become cost competitive within 1 year and fusion energy production must improve in price and performance in order to continue to receive the incentive and reduce financial support as fusion energy production improves in price and performance this evidence substantial counterplan text will insert in debate Jenkins 12 solves all the F and avoids our dis at Hayward 10 to open minded energy subsidy for production state product subsidies across main production none of these options are to drive energy production never prices fall to make subsidy I'd like to be permanent different subsidy should be open should be increased in subsidy should fall terminating if the technology fails to improve in price or reach cost parity before it's not to the commercial will create only subsidy energy only counterplan solves the energy bubble kind of the plan results of clock squeeze the energy production for major crash energy to the worst level for gas part of the unsustainable significant economic consequence. Our system is driving this the least risky technology rather than subsidized production for technology we should provide companies to improve and cut costs while the development will create that will spur investments provide opportunities being commercialization rebirths and can policies can bring major economic events will to truly about our energy market and global war diversion theory should rule 10 Economic climate increase the likelihood of external conflict with economic crisis distribution of by increasing the risk of miscalculation and expectation of trade decline. The increase of trade conflict increase again access to crisis credit to trade expect your trade increase will enhance by a strong correlation between economic conflict and there's effects of fabric extra military conflict periods weak economic performance such as leads to increased support system and notional levels and the oil discount plan trade off the oil less 11 needs to boost the US economy reducing our trade imbalance might eliminate the cost of importation while making use of the energy market preferring future generating plans for the whole world and that crushes the ultra energy transition wide 11 clean energy space provide climate change governance quality or produce building forces transition expertise alternatives awareness and opportunities of warming and of giant causes extinction evil 7 or the next mere possibility stand your service never possible transition war and direction of floods brutal droughts floods and violent storms and species exchange the most frightening amount of aggression and prevent a positive feedback or just go to prevent everything collapse warming's the most coverage equivalent of nuclear winter terrorism traditional military to shame and threat the continuity existence of life leadership. No Congress war responsible for the great and substantial attention capitalism of powers that are necessary to options given their interest to make power services to stabilize force, breaches response to CFS attack, increase cooperation of the CFS try to find several cooperation, mutual interest to reinforce stability and science policy can solve two political and does more damage. Dickens and Tan, the failure to become a miscibility of the scientific consensus with specific to direct commitment to taking a political impact, political conflicts of groups not being easily favored by hyper mindsets to maybe hyperbolic scientific projects could be entertaining about intermittently favored one group or another, nor some like lead the production of the inequalities against the system to be this nice to be rare. The government makes is, but I cannot provide the solution either. Development. Hard power head to Nebula, and we still hold relative credibility. Kagan 12. Much of this impression multiplying American influence based on not surviving. There was never such a time nor was the US ever to say what it wanted to do. The problem led points to different difficulty and the US really implement effectively in the Middle East by 1973. The US would not even predict the major powers in the Middle East from engaging in a lot of work. No one to make a case for America on the 7th no time to do it today. The US lacks the ability of its but this is not prevented from enjoying just as much success. Americans like to do whatever American alliances have arguably grown stronger. They've been with the US as more influential today than Wilson was less than for the exertion of influence. Always been struggling head just to solve conflict. Montreal 11. The last week it's got 25% of total wartime. Mark that card. Moving on.
Yeah.
Data disputes that Germany impacts West 11 to show up the support relations between U.S. active international data to the opposite of the war. Much more people from the U.S. called force no civilian security needed with use capable military enhanced arbitration, no breach of law. The only evidence required is the rational by U.S. suggested peaceful. I turn to the national U.S. military the work and operate effectively with U.S. friends and new policemen. Those who think that I would think of faith alone. Empirics indicate that resource wars won't happen until late 1907. There is no sense of the evidence to support resource character and change environmental conditions leading to conflict have shown abundance of natural resources more likely to contribute to conflict points towards environmental rationally said armed conflict by many people will be eviction required for food shortage for years more to experience a major civil war. The tsunami don't lead to outbreak of rural resource wars and no impact disease post-survival impact on species and bananas by every day since 2000 major conflict therein has been destroying the entire community the biological reason natural life of every sure limited lethality of the earth because it's more than described in terms you're not going to quickly like a domain to ban number 116 to less than the past improvements in medical science and no back to failed safe load and rebel time survey kills to read methodological weight because I'm supposed to make definition of failed safe because it was economic errors have been massive paper 30 countries find the bits of failed safe included 19 such Chicago Liberia East more straight risk of that economic misnomers spread to consequences that they say respond for terrorism risk and many assume it's consequences has been arbitrary to get the safe political conflict active propulsion which by the conflict they ask rather than by source of solvency. No fusion. So that's not the 11 at that point so that should be the devil which is future prime demonstration plan that we from by 2040 would be the law top back and it's at least 10 years away. Affirmative 9, I don't know if they can pull this off sometimes they're skeptical I'm sure we could be engines are really hard. For example, it costs $10 million to for 5 gigawatts of wind capacity 1.5 gigawatts of peak solar fusion at least 10 years away, maybe 20 or 50. We have another wind or solar and MIT's best futures say there's no too many logistical hurdles /11 nothing and there's just the one active prototype we can't land into to drive the plasma 2 combine burning plasma 3 the state burning plasma 4 predictability of fusion grade plasma 5 negative burning plasma that's really hard to tell the properties of plasma even the data better understanding the plasma interaction the 7 is material plasma for basing it from what's designed and materials for tritium feels like the power extraction reliability ability to maintain ability to respect their unsolved challenges.
Critiquing counterclaim conditional.
Assessment's really enough.
Okay, what are the net benefits of the counterclaim?
Internal net benefit and is there another one? Just the internal net
We can,
benefit.
I mean, we can say the block, if you say it makes the politics, we can say it doesn't.
Is it, so is politics a net benefit? Is oil?
No.
Alright. If fusion is not cost competitive within a year, the counterplan just ceases funding it, right?
Yeah.
For on politics, your link evidence is, I'll read the part that talks about public opinion. First and foremost is inadequate funding. Fusion research is separate from ebbs and flows and of public and political opinion. Where does that say that it's
Suffer
from EBS.
Okay, where does it say it's where does it say it's
The first
unpractical?
part says that it's expensive.
Okay.
I'll connect the
Okay.
dots and say that when it's expensive, public opinion for a fusion is low.
Do you have a, first of all, you don't have a card that says it, also, do you have a card that says it affects turnout, which is your internal link?
If public opinion doesn't like fusion because it's perceived as expensive and wasteful spending, then that would hurt turnout.
Do you have a card
We'll
that
read
says
more.
that?
We'll read more links in the blog.
Alright.
I think that card's good enough for the ones.
On the critique, all your evidence is about problems with fission. It talks about Chernobyl and uranium mining. None of this applies to fusion because it only uses hydrogen.
You act
How
as
does
if
it apply?
you act as if fusion power is this benign solution that will solve all of our electricity production problems when there are clear problems with the way fusion works. There would still be adverse problems such as waste, such
If we
as
win,
adverse
well,
unintended production.
there's not
consequences.
waste actually. If we win R&D
I
solves.
mean, it would still require rare earth metals to build these things. It would have adverse consequences on other people. There would still be like, where do we get the resources?
Do you have
Where
any
do we dump the waste?
do you have fusion specific cards for critique?
Look, we've heard this
Any
before.
times?
Like, they said the same thing you're saying before Chernobyl, before Fukushima.
But you don't have anything about the app.
Either way, you still obscure the social economic impacts that underlie your interests, which are just to promote U.S. edge, just to prevent a U.S. energy crash, all of which have unintended negative externalities, which you have not accounted for, not talked about, and they impact your methodology.
Okay, what ground do you lose by not specifying the incentive? What pick is there not happening, or what mechanism?
We
is
can't
it?
generate mechanism DAs
What-
because
what
you
are
won't
they?
talk about them.
What are the
We
mechanisms?
can't read loan guarantees bad. We can't read research and development bad. We
Why
can't
is that
read,
critical to the net ground?
why is it critical for us to have good solvency debates for net ground? I think that question is kind of
Well, you didn't ever say that these were good debates. You just said those are debates.
I think it is important for the negative to be able to read turns to your solvency mechanism.
Yeah. For oil, what about increase? Do you have any solvency that oil is creating that energy transition now that
You
solves
read
fast
evidence that says that you would solve for the clean energy crisis, which pulls electricity and fuel away from fossil fuels and oil, causes speculators to decrease the price of oil, kills the alternative energy transition.